The city of Constantine, Byzantium, capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, the city of Justinian, the city of so many empires, the gates to the Bosporus, going to and from, the great city that stood between the Aegean and the Black Sea. Now in our hands. Peace has come to the city quite quickly. The local officials that we've asked to form a temporary board of governance, separate from the British Greek allied state and our Turkish allied state, have begun surprisingly well. Negotiations over territorial rights can happen later. What's more important is that the city is at peace. And with that comes opportunity. I spent some time wandering the city, its museums, its history, the walls of Byzantium, the Hagia Sophia. It was an enlightening trip. Also, who happened to be in Constantinople was the Crown Prince of Germany. Well, I knew him as the Crown Prince. He's now declared Kaiser, but I still refer to him as the Crown Prince personally, at least for now. With that being said, he came to me with news from his front. The monarchist movement is doing well, and they've been able to infiltrate the highest levels of the German military junta, and are passing on information like a leaking sieve. Any information helps, and I'll certainly take it. With that being said, progress has been made. A beachhead now exists in Ukraine, and Christianstad in the Virgin Islands has surrendered. Southwest Africa is the next target, and German fleets in the Pacific are on the back foot. But we did spend much of the time that we were together, about a full day, discussing the Bosporus. It's finally under our control. The German military junta can't get their ships out of the Black Sea. So even if they wanted to break into the Mediterranean and make it to an area of occupied Italy that has now fallen under their control, they wouldn't be able to. Shore batteries and long guns, up to over 200 millimeters with our biggest guns, have been set up around the city. So even if they tried to approach the straits and just ran through, it wouldn't be possible. They'd be sunk before they made it to the other side of the city. And then, all that'd be left is to move the wreck of the German ships out of the way. With our next plans in motion, it seems that we'll possibly have a new ally, as the Belgians have been courting us for an alliance. They feel that Germany is about to march across the border, and I proactively asked the government to agree. If the Belgians offer an alliance, we should take it. They're next in the crosshairs, and I don't imagine the German junta will leave them around for long. Meanwhile, relations with Britain have soured over our insistence on cleaning up the Black Sea before we take on England. Or rather, German-occupied England. They want us to go now, but I've had to explain to my counterparts and to my friends, it's not that feasible. See, the Japanese fleet isn't built for the Atlantic, much less the Mediterranean. We're built for the Pacific. And us going into the North Sea is a completely foreign idea. So for the meantime, I'm having British crews give our troops and our soldiers and our sailors the best training they can about life on the seas, in the Atlantic and the North. The Channel still remains relatively open, although German bombers often harass shipping. The good news is that the RAF has finally been able to forestall the German and military junta air force enough where supplies can start being airlifted in, at least from Ireland. Southern England is nearly completely cut off, but Wales is still able to give them supplies, which has become a lifeline. We're doing our best to cut off German attacks, but it can only do so much. Meanwhile, our intelligence services have stopped the Germans from being able to construct a chain reaction for their bomb project, which is good. And most of the material sitting on the bottom of the lake, or has been seized and is being quickly smuggled out of the country as soon as possible. From what I've heard, the monarchists are trying to smuggle it out through Belgium and as fast as possible away from England, hopefully reaching America and then surrendering it there. But that remains to be seen. Worst case scenario, they destroy it. Honestly, don't care. As long as it stays out of the hands of the junta, I'm fine. With that being said, German battleships have been dispatched towards southwest Africa. And then more have been dispatched towards Indonesia. This all coming from naval intelligence. So, I retroactively have pulled Musashi back. Her captain, an admiral, rightfully angry, asked why I was pulling them, one of the most powerful ships off the front line, away from the German Navy, and Germany to a lesser extent. I explained to them that if the German battleships threaten Japan, we're all going to have to face the sword. So, go stop them. Yamato and Nagato can go sail up and down the coast to the Gambia, take it back from the German and Allied junta that recently took over the country and then began selling everything off to the Germans, which naturally is a problem, and then they tried to kill the Japanese ambassador, nearly causing him to die, which basically means we're at war. It's frustrating, really, having all these problems come up at once, but it's all part of the job. So, for the time being, I'll enjoy my stay in Constantinople. And I hope that one day I'll be able to return here not as a military man, but as a citizen. A civilian. Able to walk the streets without the specter of war hanging over it.